Hey everybody, Thomas Love here of Belle Epoque Realty. I am in Avondale today, and I wanted to take a moment to talk about a very important topic, and that is one of historic houses, or older houses. You know, when we think of historic houses, a lot of times we think of houses that you see in Springfield or in Riverside, wood frame houses with wood siding. But older houses can include a wide variety of properties. Ranch houses, for instance, that were built in the 1950s and 60s. They also qualify. You know, a lot of times people come to me and they tell me that they want an older house, they want a historic house, and I think it's such a cool thing because I myself live in a historic house. I love historic houses. It's one of the reasons that I moved back to Jacksonville from Denver, Colorado, when I encountered Springfield and the houses that were available in Springfield. I bought my own house and renovated it, and I'm still there today and I love it. But what I would caution is to know what you're getting yourself into when you say you want a historic house. A lot of times I meet buyers who say they want a historic house. They may not be completely sort of knowledgeable about what buying a historic house means in terms of what they're getting themselves into from a maintenance standpoint, and things that they should be worried about and things that they should not be worried about. I'll give you a quick for instance. One of the most common concerns that I hear from buyers who are looking at older houses, houses that are older, is the floors. The floors aren't level, or the floors aren't perfectly even. Well, that's funny to me because with older houses, especially in this part of Florida where the soil is essentially sand, and houses that are on pier foundations are essentially sitting on the ground, gravity is what's holding them in place. There are going to be piers that shift over the course of 100+ years. I like to joke around when I say that old houses don't move in straight lines. There's not a single house built before, I would say, 1930 that doesn't have a slight slope in one or more of the floors. It just doesn't exist. It, in and of itself, is nothing to be particularly concerned about. That's what home inspections are for. You get your home inspection. The inspector will take a look at the foundation, will take a look at the piers, will take a look at the sills, and determine what is or what is not a problem. One thing in particular to be aware of when you do decide that you want to purchase an old house is to know, like I said, what you're getting into. You are, of course, getting an amazing structure that has a history, and it's amazing to think about who probably lived there over the years, what they probably looked like. You know, I'm amazed when I look at my staircase, for instance, in my house, and I think that the people who originally lived there may have looked like this. It's just a mind-boggling thought. But what you have to be aware of when you decide that you want to purchase a historic home is that a historic home, or an older home in general, is going to require an additional level of maintenance that a newer home will not require. That's a very important distinction. This is especially true if the house that you're considering is a wooden house. I mean, this is Northeast Florida. The climate that we have is hot and very humid. It's not the ideal situation to have a wooden house. Replacing rotten wood is going to be a fact of life for you if this is the direction that you want to go into. You're going to have to repaint probably more often than you would care to. But what you get in exchange for that is a house with character, a house that is one of a kind, a house that is as unique as you are. Deciding to buy a historic home is a very personal decision. It's a decision that should be based on your own interests, your own sort of threshold for maintenance, your budget, your available budget for maintenance. But for those of you who decide to take the plunge into older house ownership, I guarantee it's going to be a very rewarding experience. Jacksonville happens to have a lot of historic homes to choose from. There are lots of historic areas, especially centered around downtown, and there are lots of different neighborhoods to choose from. And I've got nothing against new houses. New houses can be amazing too. I mean, what it comes down to and what it's all going to be about is what you're into. Be true to yourself.